Hey! What up? I'm dying! We rule the world. This is clearly the theme song, right? Like, I've made this our theme song, everybody. Welcome. Because what? If I rule the world. You guys are going to be making me sing by myself and you guys are the singers?
Because we want to hear you sing.
You have a good voice. Girl, you heard you, girl. Okay, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on Not Your Typical Girl Talk for our very first show.
First show, y'all.
It's our first show. We are super excited to have you all joining us. You are going to learn a lot about us today.
Maybe too much.
And maybe a little too much.
And we apologize in advance.
So you asked for it. You're following us and you joined us. So here you are. So we are going to introduce ourselves for those who do not know us. And I am going to start with my co-host over here.
Hi.
Mumbo.
I'm Carcia, and for all of you that don't know me, I am just some weird black girl that loves frames and hats, and you know, I love music, I love my girls, I love hanging out, I love doing my thing on social media, and that's me in a nutshell.
Nice. Hey, so I am the cutie named Chantel Telly.
That's right, I said it.
I'm not taking it back either. Hey guys, my name is Chantel, but do call me Telly. And yeah, these are my sisters. My sister from the Nista, my sister. And I'm so happy that we're doing this. Yeah, pretty much like I work along mostly with my sister. We have a blog. We love to sing. We love clothes. We love all things that women mostly love. And I just really have I have a good feeling that this is going to be
Therapeutic.
very.
That's the word. I think therapeutic.
And no better place than to do this with my girls right here. These are the two best therapists you will ever meet.
Yeah,
believe that.
Because I pay my therapist a lot. So I am Toshiba. My friends call me Sheba. The things that you need to know about me: I love Jamaica because that's where I'm from. I love ball. I am a huge basketball fan, probably bigger than most men that you know. Just saying. I love my daughter, Tran, if you're watching. What up?
Hi,
And I love my friends and family. So you're going to learn a lot about us. Today we are going to be talking about the power of rediscovering your own voice. We're going to give you a little bit about the story that got us to even start this show. This show was literally a thought in my mind on January 3rd. And here we are, February 1st, launching the show. So I'm super excited.
Wow.
Like, we got on it, we faced our fears, and we're here. So what started the show is we each individually had written a future me letter to ourselves. So if you don't know about the future me letter, go to futureme.org and you can actually write a letter to your future self. Well, we all did this. I didn't know that they had done it. They knew each other had done it because they're sisters. I didn't know that they had done it. And I ended up talking to Carcia about my future letter. I want to say it was like January 2nd or something, right?
Like that, right after New Year's.
Because my future me letter came to myself and I was like, you're a failure.
Girl, it was a depressing. Moment.
It
was a sad day.
It was a depressing moment.
A failure. So, for the very first time, we're actually going to be reading our future me letters that we all wrote. This will be the first time that we're really all hearing it. And you're going to hear my future me letter too. So, Carcia, you're going to start.
Yay! You've got that burden to bear.
She done printed it, y'all. She's serious.
I printed it. Okay. So, I wrote this letter January 2nd of 2019.
Okay.
And I was feeling myself, apparently.
Hey, girl, it's all right.
So, dear future me, by now you have entered a new bracket of wealth.
Okay, all right.
I'm writing to remind you of where you're coming from. Today, you are about to launch an online fashion boutique. In a few weeks, you start your coding classes, and you have started on a healthy journey. Yes, you are cute, But at 40, you're even hotter.
You are hot though, so
Thanks.
Just saying.
You're going to feel like this has been a full year, but all that work that you've put in is why you have more cash now. Why you have a company that is bursting at the seams in worth.
Yes, girl.
Right now, I want you to continue to focus on the brand.
Okay.
That is all that matters. My personal brand is all that matters. Continue to push because we need that bag. Next goal is in beauty with shadows and lipsticks.
Ooh.
Continue to watch your health and weight.
Yes,
We
girl.
will we need to keep it small and tight. Can't wait to see what you do for 2020, girl. I believe in you.
Aww.
Okay, yes.
All
girl.
right.
Okay, Telly,
All right.
what's your letter?
Okay, so I wrote mine on January 2nd, and I got it delivered to me at
Hi, everybody.
Hi, and it got delivered on January 1st. And I didn't realize I got it until Carcia and you guys were talking, and then I said, "Oh, I should check what mine says," and I wish I never did. Okay, so it says, "Dear future me, it's January 1st, 2019. You have your website, your business license, and now you're in the process of getting started. You and Carcia are going to give the music another chance because you know you're way too talented to keep the gift that God gave you to yourselves. You're going to share all your gifts to the world. I know that you have always had your ups and downs with business and life, but this time it's going to be different. You're a different person now. Your faith in God and your faith in yourself will get you through to the goals you have set. Just keep your eyes on the prize. You and Carcia are going to travel, meet new and amazing people who will lift you up, meet the men who will love, adore, cherish, and commit to you. So many amazing things in store for the both of you. For the both of you, my loves. I read that. Yeah, that's what it says. I'm just reading this now, so I'm just...
Yeah, this is literally the first
I'm
time.
literally just reading this now. Just keep God first and watch the blessings of the Lord.
Okay, let me just say that you titled that "Get That Bag." You didn't even read your title, girl. It was "Get That Bag."
Oh yeah, get that bag.
Okay.
I did not get that. I got no damn bag.
Okay.
This is really depressing, y'all.
So, mine
ahead, girl.
was written on January 1st. No, online. It was composed on January 2nd. And it said, "Dear future me, you are about to embark on a new journey. It's going to be filled with ups and downs. However, it is important that you stay the course. You are built for greatness and will never fulfill your desire for freedom as long as you continue to be an employee. Entrepreneurship is the direction your life must take in order to live your life you truly desire. A life without an alarm clock, filled with travel, exploring various business opportunities, your clothing boutique, your business coaching, charitable work, and all the things that the universe has in store. It is time for you to refocus on love and open yourself up to the possibilities it will bring. You need to step outside of your comfort zone and begin dating men that will help you grow and are looking for partnership. A man that sees beyond your physical attractiveness and wants to get to know your heart and character. One who makes you uncomfortable in a good way because he pushes you to think beyond perceived limitations. With the right partner, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Make this year your best year on the road to even better years. Love yourself through everything you will experience. With self-love, you can overcome all the obstacles thrown your way. Toshiba, aka Queen Boss."
Nice. I like the ending. That's good.
Moment of silence for the future me letters. And okay, well, I can't rap
Girl, just
there.
delete it.
I can't do that. So they really
That's
did.
okay,
They
delete.
really did
That's
this.
delete it.
So those letters that we just read, and thank you guys for sharing because
Yes.
it's a big deal.
It's part of the therapy, right?
It's part of the therapy.
It
When
is.
you write these things to yourself, you are filled with hope. You are filled with these dreams. You're filled with all of that. We were feeling ourselves.
We were feeling ourselves.
And
we
then-
lost that feeling.
We got our letters and
Aw.
realized we didn't do none of that ish.
We did nothing.
So when I got on the phone with Carcia,
Yes. So that day, let me tell you that day. So January 2nd, heading into the office, took out my laptop. I'm like, before I start like working, let me check personal email because why not? So checking my personal email and I see that future me letter. Guys, I totally forgot about it. I was like, what's future me? What is this? So I open it and I'm like, oh hell, I wrote a letter to myself. I start reading it and as I read it, this smile went,
oh, heartbreak.
It was heartbreaking. I was like, I didn't do a damn thing. I felt like someone literally punched me
in the back,
stomach.
Right?
Punch in the
Did
gut.
you feel
Wow.
like this regurgitating feeling in your stomach?
While I'm going through that emotion, I get a text from this one and she's like, did you write a future me letter? I'm like, girl, I'm a damn idiot. I went on bad. Guys, I felt so bad I had to get up from my desk, go down the stairs of the office building and sit in one of those lounge chairs.
Bad.
While I'm sitting in the lounge chair, sister girl here, sister friend, calls me and she's like, so I wrote this thing called a future me letter.
This is no joke. This is exactly what happened.
No joke.
Like, this is what happened. And I started telling her how, first of all, I was already sick. Like, I was in my sick bed. I was sick.
Yeah.
That crappy food, right? And so I'm talking to her. I'm like, I got punched in the gut by this stupid letter because I was feeling myself. First of all, I called myself Queen Boss. Let's talk about that.
So
the dry part when you like big up yourself and you're just like,
thing is
yes,
that
and then
the confidence that you have in yourself.
Man.
The confidence you have in yourself is based on the idea that I'm killing it. I'm doing the thing. I am doing the 1%. I am a part of that 1% of the world that is doing it. But then someone called the damn internet comes along and tells you, actually, sis,
you're not doing
you
shit.
ain't doing nothing.
You're doing
you
crap.
are an idiot. That is
damn
what
thing.
happened January 2nd of 2020.
Man.
And the good thing is that it propelled all of us, I think, to start evaluating what we actually did that was right and the things that we did that was wrong. Now, there were some great things that happened in 1919. Or
1919?
I hope so in 1919.
Probably not for us.
Not for us. Not with this. This still looked too good back then.
But, for
we're black queens.
for
It's all good.
2019, a lot of great things happened.
Yeah.
But none of them were
None of them were
on this.
None of them were on the list. Not one thing.
Right? So we started a conversation, and we talk a lot about business. We talk a lot about how we gonna get better, how we gonna do the things that we need to do to win. That's what we talk about. That's what the sisterhood is built on, first and foremost. And in beginning these discussions of how we felt that we failed, we started to see how powerful it was to actually fail. Falling off the horse and making a fool out of ourselves
was the best thing of our lives.
Was literally the best thing that ever happened.
It is.
It was the best. So let's be very clear. On January 2nd, we all were employed with other people.
Yep.
As of today, February 1st, we're happy to say we're all self-employed.
Yep.
So apparently I should have wrote that for next year.
Yeah.
But it was one of the things that propelled us and said, we are not walking in faith. Like we all had something that was so great that we needed to give to the world, and we weren't doing it, and we were bogged down with all of these corporate that's another that we'll tell you about. This another topic. But there was so much going on, and so you fast forward from getting those letters all on the same day to where we are. Carcia's last day was yesterday.
Yesterday, y'all.
And so again, as of today, we are all self-employed.
All self-employed.
And Telly said something. Oh, girl, she put on a new letter. I'm feeling myself now.
Right?
So Telly said something that was very telling on our last call. And Telly, I'm going to have you say
That's right. We were just talking about the show and what we were going to be talking about. And I can't remember exactly how we came up, but I just started saying, there's when you're falling, what did I say again? There's failure.
And the power of failing forward.
The power of failing forward.
Yeah, failing forward.
Unfortunately, it's a stigma in our minds to feel that when you fail, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's shameful. But honestly, in my path through life thus far, failing has been the best thing that's ever happened.
Absolutely.
To me. I would not be with my sisters now. This show wouldn't be existing.
Exactly.
The music wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Nothing
Would have
that
never
we
done
do,
that.
like, you know, outside of work, it would never happen if we didn't fail. And that's why I'm an avid person, and I'm really strong when I say I don't have a problem with failure. Because failure is important. It's needed. It's a teacher. It's a life lesson that you have to take with you. Nothing is wrong with failing. The only thing is when you fail, get up.
Get back up.
That's it.
And that's
back
what I
up.
think where people have an issue. They fail and then they figure,
And that's it.
I tried this business, it didn't work. And
Oh,
that's
well.
it. I tried to, you know, get that. Because nothing. I don't want to say anything's wrong with working the corporate world. So for people
No,
that
man,
do work in it,
if it's
do
working
it.
for you,
Good for
do
you.
it.
And get up that ladder, get those steps, get to be the CEO's assistant, whatever you
That's
want to
it.
do. And if you try that and you're still failing, don't stay there. Get back up and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to try again. In anything you do, just get up, fail, forward. Always.
I love that.
Always.
That was such a big moment because, you know, I was saying the power of failure, and then Telly said, no, it's the power of failing forward. And I thought,
yeah.
what a profound thing, because our first show
Yes.
is about the power of rediscovering your own voice.
And that's, wow,
So
that's heavy.
that was one of the things
That's
we
heavy.
realized in those moments and in those conversations. And again, we can talk about some of the things that happened later, but it was about the power of rediscovering your own voice. As women of color, so often, and I mean, if men are watching, as people of color, we often get bogged down in trying to shape ourselves into someone that we actually are not.
Exactly.
Because it's what we need to do to strive in this
Strive
world.
and survive.
Yes.
And we go, and there was a point where you go, who am I? And I had that point, you know, this week. I'm building my website for my consulting company. So I'm starting a consulting company. I do business strategy. And I changed the About Me section to who am I? And I told my girls I was stuck. I was like, who are you? I had morphed into this person who needed to be who she needed to be to survive in the corporate world.
That's it.
And I'm
That's
in
it.
some ways I'm fortunate because I've been able to sit at some tables, and Carcia can tell you we met because we worked together
through
8
the
years
corporate
ago.
world,
God.
believe it or not.
Yes, right?
I know you're all looking at me saying, you mean that crazy girl in the corner
What's wrong with that?
was
Did you look
working
by its cover?
in
That's
the
possible.
legal industry?
We were in the legal industry. So, you know, I've been at some, she can speak to it, the people that I've met in my life. But as a woman of color, you often have to take a very silent seat at the table.
You do.
We do that because we don't want to be called the angry black woman. So you don't want to be aggressive. You don't want to be loud.
To talk in
So
your
your
inside
voice is
voice.
like this, and this is how you speak, because God forbid you actually speak like this.
Oh,
Because
no, you're
then
being aggressive. Girl, you're being aggressive. Keep it down.
Yeah, you're angry.
Keep it down.
So, but what I realized is when your mouth is closed, your ears are open. And so because of these very opened ears, I've learned a lot. And I know we've
Yes.
all learned a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Learned a lot from the business world. And because of what we learned, we can now move forward to be able to better help build our community. And this is what this show is about. It's about building the community. It's about getting us out of this complacency.
Yes.
So important, right? Can you
Yes.
imagine
So-
what our 20-year-old selves or 21-year-old selves would say?
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
kicked our
that was,
asses.
that was one of the
That was nothing we talked about
thoughts
on
that
the
I
phone.
had, you know, when reading this Future Me letter. I laughed because I was like, what happened to me? What happened to the 21-year-old version of Carcia? The 21-year-old version of Carcia used to pick up the phone, because this was before Google, this was before all of that.
This was before
Google was
major
around,
social
but
media.
no one was actually using, Google to, do stuff.
No.
And I would pick up the phone and randomly call companies. I picked up the phone and called EMI Music Canada and said, I want to be a publicist. And I work for you. And Carcia was working with a lot of artists where you have their CDs, or not CDs. I'm so
No, we are so
We're
old.
ancient.
I was thinking CD too.
What? Could be
You
worse.
have them on your Shopify, your Spotify
Spotify.
account. You have them now on your Spotify account. And I used to roll with these people simply because I was brave enough and confident enough to pick up the phone and say, I am this person and I am good at this thing. And they believed it. And everything I wanted to do, guys, everything. I hit a lot of goals in my youth. And to be honest, if young 21-year-old Carcia met Carcia of today, she would kick my ass. And I would deserve.
Oh yeah, well, for real.
Real talk.
When I was 21, I was doing my own seamstress business. I was sewing for other people. My dream at that time was to move to New York and be a fashion designer.
Yes.
And that was it. And I was going to make clothes for rock stars and for rappers and for guitarists and all this stuff. That was it.
And you were all about it.
And I was all about that. I had my business card. People were sending me things to make. I was it. And I don't know, from 21 to 25, I was it. And then all of a sudden, I'm trying to pinpoint what happened.
I know exactly what happened.
But something happened and I got into the corporate world and I just deflated. I became a shell of myself. So my 21 self would have just kicked my ass too. I can't blame it. Or me from then.
Here's the thing. And I bought my first place at 24.
Yep.
Bought a condo. I was a single mother. I had a baby on my hip. I was determined. I was working. I was grinding. I was hustling. I was, and I'm telling you, like when we started having the conversation, and I brought it up, I was like, my 25-year-old me would punch me in the head.
And they have every right.
They'd be like, girl, like, who are you?
What are you doing?
Who the hell are you?
What they do to you, girl, because this is not even who you are. But again, I go back to the Who Am I section on my website, and I really had morphed into this person I didn't recognize, and I'd lost my voice. And as much as I got it back, like I said earlier, when your mouth is closed, your ears are open.
Right.
And that's how I regained it. I had really lost myself in trying to go into this world where, quite frankly, this don't really get you anywhere. Like, they ain't just be opening doors like, hey, Toshiba, come on in. Come on in. We're going to give you this budget so you can build all these programs and travel around the world. And she'll tell you, I used to travel to some very amazing places. I've been in places where I was the only black person in an entire hotel.
Yeah.
Not in a room.
Yeah.
This is a
corporate
reality. In an entire
really
hotel. I've been the only woman of color in an entire room.
Yes.
Wow.
Person of color, no other minority. It's just me.
Just you.
And again, there is power in that, though. There's power in that, but I also realized I had lost myself, and so we thought it was so important to talk about the power of rediscovering your own voice, because that's what those letters did for us.
Yeah.
And you just heard them, if you heard them. They were tough, but it kicked us right in the...
It put us into gear. It pushed us into the stratosphere to make us rethink.
Yeah. Complacency
restructure.
is a very comfortable place.
It's real nice. It's real nice. We live there.
Yeah.
It's real comfortable.
You get paid every 2 weeks, so however your cycle is built.
It's
money's in the bag.
You just decide, I am not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and be who people want me to be and collect and then go home. The thing is, it works for a while. But if you are a person that really wants purpose, if you are a person that really wants to do some amazing things in the world, that eventually is going to become very boring. And then you become depressed. You realize that you no longer really care about how you look. You realize that I'm going to skip the gym again.
Lower
I don't
lower
really care what I eat today.
Yeah,
I don't need to eat vegetables. And before
you
know
become
it,
a shell of yourself.
Look like a shell of yourself, and no one recognizes
Rest
you.
in peace, girl.
Yeah, and the spirit that you had is gone.
Gone.
Speaking as a black woman, we, unfortunately, our history is all about not being yourself. You know, we're stripped of our names. We were stripped of our riches. We were told, do this, do it now, do it at this time. And that is how our lives on this side of the pond occurred. And it continues to this very day, where it's like, you need to be overtly professional. Overtly professional means you do not need to be wearing leggings. You do not need to be wearing tank tops. You must wear a button-up shirt, and you must button that shirt right
up here.
You know, you
and
can't.
God forbid you got any bosom.
Yeah,
God forbid that.
no bosoms.
God forbid you got a little butt.
Yeah, you know.
Oh shoot.
So we've been told to do all of these things to be of value. And the one thing that I've realized is that I have to start valuing the things that maybe some people don't love. Like some people are sitting out there saying, you're not professional because on your LinkedIn photo, you're wearing a leather jacket. And I remember having this conversation with Toshiba, and I was like, look, I don't really care. If you don't want to hire me because I like leather, then that's fine. Because guess what? You're hiring a rock star. This is who I am. When I leave this office, I go to a studio and I record music.
That's it.
I work on social media for some, cutting edge brands.
That's it.
Me and my sister run this lifestyle brand. I am not going to conform to you so you can look good so that your dreams can fly and then mine do not because I've been trying to be you who is not me.
Thank you.
So
rediscovering your DNA.
Yeah.
Taking your DNA back. That's what it's about.
Taking that voice
DNA
back and not being ashamed of those things that some people might not find attractive or great or good.
Owning the right to be you.
That's it.
Owning your right.
That's it, right? And as I again building my website and building this brand, being authentic is part of my personal brand. And I truly found that, girl, when I left my job, I think I changed my LinkedIn page the same day.
Girl, absolute.
That's what
Absolute.
And
Amen.
many of you.
Yo.
And thanks for the love, guys. I see the love coming through.
We appreciate it. So I changed my LinkedIn picture the same day. Like I was like, that ain't me. That is not that is the me that I morphed into because I had to be better, stronger.
That's it.
Everything. I had to be smarter. I had to be all of those different things. And in the end, none of it mattered because I was just a little black girl.
That's it.
Do you understand? So I had given so much of myself to so many of these companies, built so many of these companies. Again, Carcia can tell you, in 2 years when we were at the company that I worked for, the CFO stood there after 2 years as he was giving out the bonus checks and basically told the staff to thank me because in the 2 years that I'd been there, because of the different department that I had built, I'd built a brand new sponsorship department. I wrote the manual. I told the owner how we were going to do it. I had helped increase their gross profit margin. I think it was 23, 28.
23 or 28.
It was a large damn percentage, okay? This was a multi-million-dollar company that I had helped to increase their gross profit margin in 2 years by 23, 28, somewhere in their percent.
Wow.
When I left, I found out that I was getting the same pay, remember, girl? As the executive assistant to one of the directors. Yeah, moment of silence.
That is a moment of silence.
So I had given them my intellectual property because when you sit at the table and you're giving ideas and these ideas are being implemented, what you're actually doing is you're giving away your intellectual property.
Girl.
And wow. I want to pause on that because this is actually a very personal topic for me. Being a creator, anyone out there that creates anything, you understand the importance of intellectual property. Even if you don't get physical money compensation, you want that credit. You want people to know, look, I drew that.
Because the idea came from your brain.
I wrote that. I put that together.
Yeah.
It's your intellectual property on paper, canvas, computer, whatever the hell it is. And I do feel that, unfortunately, for POCs, we do miss the opportunity of owning what we create.
Absolutely.
And this is on, I'm not only speaking as a musician or a creator, but I'm also speaking as a business person.
Yep.
There are many companies out there up to this very day, I know for a fact, they are using stuff that I created.
Yep.
And I'm not getting no residual income off
Zero.
it. No. There are no royalty payments for me.
None for me either.
and none for you. And none for me. And these sort of things are the things that we don't learn about in school. We don't learn about these things in university. If you're lucky enough to have a mentor that understands this sort of compensation, maybe you know about it. But especially in business, they don't teach about
owning your intellectual property.
Right. If you were working at a tech company and you wrote the manual as to how to train on this particular tool or item, that's your intellectual property. And guess what? After they fire your ass,
They're
gonna take
it.
And they're gonna keep on promoting it as if you were never there to create it in the first place.
Listen,
This
they
tea.
just keep cutting and pasting that thing in a different Word document
And
and creating a new PDF file and using that.
So here is something that I learned. Because the show has been such an exciting part of my life for the last few months, and if my friends are watching, hey, because they've had to be annoyed with me talking and promoting whatever the show, but we're here now. So someone said to me just this week, because I was talking about it, and sometimes there's no way to get over the fact that when you're working with somebody else, you're going to literally be giving them your intellectual property. What this person has done for themselves is, I'm going to give you a tidbit, and I hope you are listening. I registered myself as a business many, many years ago before I was even a business. You can register yourself as a business. It costs $60.
Yeah, and go out and get that .com.
Go and get the .com.
That's
you
important.
buy your .com. You do whatever. So you register yourself as a business. And we can put up the link later to show you where to go to register yourself as a business. You just do it as a sole proprietor, and that's it.
That's it.
When you are writing these documents, you brand it with your business name. And what you then do is you have your manager, your CEO, whomever you're reporting to sign off on that. You get to keep that because it says from CEO, manager, whomever, this is the intellectual property of Toshiba, Buildings Consulting, Her Castle Girls, whatever it is that you choose to do. Now, again, they can still likely use it, but when you leave, you actually get to take that somewhere else. And when people say, what have you done, Toshiba? Tell me what you've done. You've got this manual here to say, I was able to create this for XYZ company that they're still implementing. Now, I'm not a lawyer. You can absolutely talk to a lawyer about if there's any other steps that you can take. But again, I know someone who's done that. It's worked very well for them. So I'm going to give you that tip. Register yourself as a business, number one. And clearly, if you register yourself as a business anyways, you can write off certain things. And most businesses, you can claim a loss. I think it's for the 2-3 years. Check with your accountant, but you can literally claim a lot of things. But again, we're not saying everybody run out and be entrepreneurs, right?
No.
We're absolutely not saying that.
We want you to win in whatever circumstance you are in.
Whatever. You
win
do.
in your own way.
I worked
That's
at
it.
some companies for years and years, and I was very happy. I was very
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
It was fulfilling me and my purpose because they saw the weird oddities that I had, and they were like, "You're weird as hell. Let's put you on video, and you can do our corporate videos. You can style our corporate videos. Like you can do the makeup," because they were like, "She's good at these things that most corporate people aren't good at." So they would use me for those things, and I was very happy at these jobs because I was tapping into those different skills. But as Toshiba has said, if you're going to be working at these companies, you might as well be working on your personal brand.
Exactly.
And, instilling that skill that you have. Because I know of many people that have written manuals for things like Excel. And they wrote it for other companies. And because they did their job right, because they did the things that Toshiba just talked about, they were able to take that very same manual, publish it on their own website, and actually sell it and make their own money. And now they're working in their own business, building manuals based on
what they did.
What they did for another company.
That's it.
Because you're using that company to see that it works. And that is the thing that, again, I'm taking away from my experience. And I will talk more about my experience at a later time.
Pardon me while
I'm going through some stuff. However, I will talk about that later. However, what you can do is you take all of that Carcia just said, again, it was an opportunity for her to use her skills to then develop what she was doing on the side.
That's right.
We're not saying run, leave your company.
No.
That's not what we just happen to have all been employed by other people, and now we're not. Because that future me letter again kicks us in the ass.
Girl.
But it's just very important that your intellectual property, and many of you, I'm sure this is not a foreign word, but for those of you it is, your intellectual property is any idea you give a company that they implement to get themselves further.
That's it.
That is your intellectual property. Yeah. That when you sit around that table, you're in that meeting and they go, hey, that's a great idea. We think we're going to go take it and see it. That's actually yours.
Yes. Yep.
So you need to be able to own
you have
that
to own
intellectual
This is
property.
why Beyonce's
Ownership.
Beyonce. You know, Beyonce was the one that went to Netflix and said, okay, I'm going to do this special, but you don't even need to pay me this much. I'd rather take a layer pay cut and own this video so I can go reproduce it in many other different ways. That's why Beyonce's hella rich.
Look at LL Cool J.
Ownership.
He owns all his music.
You guys own it. Whatever
Own it. Whatever it is.
If you are
own your
making,
stuff.
if you are whatever you're making, make sure you own it.
Brand
it doesn't
it,
matter
own it, make sure it's
if
yours.
it's for you or the company you work for or clients that you have, whatever your business is. Just look about yourself in that sense. Make
Sorry,
sure
I'm just
don't
going to
let
read one of the
them
comments
sweet talk
here.
you either. Don't
What
let
are
them
some
sweet talk
comments?
you.
Okay. Great. I'm sorry. I'm just reading some of the comments, but I don't want to touch the phone. So thank you for everybody who's
Thank you, everybody, for
commenting
coming
and
in this far.
loving it.
We're sorry if
Girl, I'm
we're-
just trying to be like, are you trying to like mess this up? It's our first show.
Ladies, love what you're doing and dropping these gems. So upset I've got to go out, but we'll be listening for the full version.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
So I had to open up my laptop because I had something that I wanted to talk about, but I got the definition. So this is why I opened up my laptop. And again, it was something that we've had clearly several planning calls. And one of the things that came up for us was this idea of the imposter syndrome.
Oh, Lord.
And again, it was something that I was feeling again. It's been very therapeutic. So I'm just going to read the definition. Excuse me as I get my laptop. So, imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which one doubts one's accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. For Black women or people of color, period, it can stem from being a minority in a majority environment, coming from a challenged socioeconomic background and what that experience does to you, and internalizing the perceptions and opinions of family, friends, and colleagues, both negative and positive. So, the imposter syndrome, I feel, happens a lot in our community.
Definitely.
We get so beaten down.
We do.
For being
We
who
get
we are
abused.
naturally.
We can't change who we are. And because of that, I guess people see that, and as soon as they see a Black or a person of color, they just instantly feel like we're a punching bag.
I do feel that, and I feel that, you know,
I mean, it's like in every move we make. That's what I feel.
Because
anyway.
of how we look, we tend to, you know, for instance, if I sat here and said I was a scientist.
Oh,
girl, you're gonna go there. Okay, we're gonna go there.
That's good.
Okay,
You know,
let's
and
do that. She's gonna go somewhere.
Let's do that.
I am a scientist, and I am working on, you know, the medication that's going to cure this coronavirus situation.
Right.
And I walk into the press room, CP24 is there, CBS News, all the news people are there, and I walk in and I say, hey, everybody, I'm the one that's going to figure out this vaccine.
Well, first of all, you're going in there just like this.
I'm going in the way how I'm
like
usually
this.
dressed, which
Just
is like this.
You're going to go up to that podium.
And I'm going to
Yeah,
say
clear the
that.
mic. Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is
Listen.
Carcia Campbell. I have the
Listen.
cure. And then everyone in that audience is going to be like, okay, well,
Where's the real person?
Yeah, you're the
Right.
assistant. Where's
So-
the real scientist?
So, right. Now, because of that, even if I know what I'm doing, I am going to lack the confidence
You
to
are.
believe that I am truly a scientist because I see the reaction of the crowd. I see everyone going, that girl ain't nothing but scientist. She ain't scientist of what? Scientist
The
of
booty
sex?
shaking?
Scientist of booty shaking? Twerking? So, because of that, we just naturally fall into the imposter syndrome because we have been told that there is no way
That
I
a
can
Black
be
person can be
this
that
person.
We experience it all the time.
That's
When you're
why-
talking on the phone to someone and they come and they meet you in person at the
Oh, yeah.
office. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking
People
for
all the
Chantel.
time, they're like,
that's me, I am Chantel. It's me.
Yeah,
I'm
because
the woman you were speaking to on the phone.
Your accent.
But then
is
I'm dying for them to say something so I can clap back. Because they probably see my face and they know I'm gonna be like, okay, come on, say it. You thought I was white, didn't you? Because I have a Canadian accent, I talk clearly on the phone. Hello, thank you for calling so and so. How may I help you? All of a sudden, when you see me now, it's a different story.
Now, many of us internalize that, and I think that's where it becomes a problem, right?
Yes.
It's that internalized feeling of what the majority is making you feel. And
Definitely.
how do you overcome that? And that's kind of why we came up with the show and wanted to talk about, again, not your typical girl talk, because we didn't want to talk about the typical things. These are things that we've experienced, people around us experience. As the show evolves, I'm sure we'll get more people to come on and talk about things.
Yes.
We're going to be reading books by these Black authors, which are going to be amazing, that are going to drop all these gems of knowledge, these amazing things that are happening in a community. And we really want to get ourselves out of this internalizing of what other people think you are. You are as good as you think you are.
Exactly.
It's confidence.
Exactly.
You're as good as you think you are.
And you should be proud of being okay with that and be okay with saying, I am, myself. I can say, I am a Black Canadian of Jamaican descent, and I like classical music.
Tell them, girl.
And I can be okay with that. And you should be okay with that.
Be okay with being you.
Why are we beating down on ourselves for not fitting into a box? We are too great and too amazing to fit into a box. We should never fit into a box.
No.
We should be a bunch of different colors and fireworks and shapes, and we should be exciting
and different.
Yeah.
Spreading something new every day. That's who we should be.
You know what? I learned very long ago that if you tell yourself you can't jump, you can't jump. If I say I can't jump,
then you were
I'm never going to jump.
That's it.
If you tell yourself I can't, you just are not going to.
You're not putting your brain to that.
It's your mindset. There's this shift in your mindset that has to happen when you have to feel you are good enough.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't feel you are good enough, what do you think that you're projecting out to everyone else? It does start with the feeling that you have, and I completely get it, how we get bogged down into the I'm not good enough, because again, you go to work, especially for you ladies who are in the corporate world in a higher level. It is one of those things that you get to hear this, and Black men as well. Again, I hope some men are listening. When you get to a certain point, there is that fear, whether it's conscious or subconscious, that if I make a move this way and they want me to go this way, that's going to be a problem, because you're going to be perceived in a way that takes your entire community back.
That's it.
Right? I have been, again, for those of you who didn't hear me before, I've been the only person of color in an entire hotel. You understand me? Not just in a meeting
Thanks for the
room.
love, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. And I hope you're enjoying this. But this is when, you get to start to be at the point where you can internalize so many of the stuff. I'm not going to swear. So much of the stuff. I'm trying not to, because I don't want Facebook to shut us down. But so much of the stuff that others are saying about you. So I think one of the first things is, when you're rediscovering your own voice, you really have to ask yourself, who am I? Because that's what I had to do. I had to go back to basics. I had to go back to my childhood. I'm going to be excited to share when what my website is launched, and you guys tell me what you think once I put it out there. But I really had to, and these ladies have read it. I really had to go back to that moment of who am I? What do I stand for? What do I want to do? And I had to shut out the voices. Because you'll hear, and this is even, I'm not just talking about the white people, them. I am talking about the voices from your family, your friends, that everybody who tells you can't. But you can't. But no, why are you going to do that?
Just pushing it in,
but you can't do that.
Last nail in the coffin. You can't.
No, you're really going to do that?
And then because it's like a constant bullet being hit every time.
Yeah.
And then, like you were saying, Toshiba, you have to go back to the beginning to find yourself. And it's funny because when I left my job,
Girl,
and
first of all, okay, hold on. Listen, if you're watching, this is about to be a story because she gave me my whole life.
Listen.
My whole life when she told me what happened. Tell them the story, girl.
So, I mean, I'll get into more like specifics about my job as we continue our relationship with each other. But I got so, pissed with the treatment that I was getting at my job. First of all, and Toshiba and Carcia, I know you guys have said this too, we all are suffering from PTSD.
No, this is a serious
and
thing.
That's serious.
Like, we're going to talk about this later with
Exactly.
mental health, but because of the collective experience that we've had at our former employers, my therapist has said I have post-traumatic stress disorder from what I've experienced.
It will take time to get over. Because when I did leave, I was like, okay, well, you know what? This is going to be easy to get over. And it wasn't. And still getting over it. But just to cut a long story short, when I finally had enough, I gave in my, resignation or resigning, whatever you call it, date. And I was supposed to go to the end of the month. Y'all, I didn't make it. And not only did I not make it, I got so upset with how I was treated that I took out my phone, because I have a resume in my Google Drive, or my G Drive. I just looked at it, and I said delete. And then I went into the trash can to make sure it was gone, and I went remove, delete. And then deleted it. I'm like, this is it. This is it. I don't give one, what, anymore. From now on, especially after reading the Future Me letter, from now on, that just propelled me to say, Chantel, you are worth it. This company has done nothing but rob you, kicked you, spat on you, and you took it for far too long. And it's time to get back to being you. This has to work. You have to make this work. Oh, what you were saying before, Toshiba, about the cans and you shouldn't, and aren't you afraid? Maybe you should go look for another job. Why?
Well, I also want to say that
why can't I just take charge of my life and make this work?
Everything, and this is for anyone
I
out
deleted
there
that
right now.
Girl, let me just hold on, Carcia. I did want to understand the impact of what she did.
That.
This girl deleted her entire work history.
Yeah.
She has no resume.
There's no resume. There's no kind of, y'all are thinking there's a copy. There's nothing.
She's like,
it's
her resume
gone.
is gone. That is the
Gone.
belief she had in herself and what we're doing here collectively and what they're doing in their business that she said,
it's gone.
I believe enough in myself that I am going to delete my entire work history.
Yep.
So the brand, the stamp of what I have done over there, gone.
It's gone. That whole DNA.
Because I'm
everything.
going to believe in me. She told me that story. Listen, I think I almost fell off the chair. I was like, I almost say, like, bitch, you deleted your resume.
I deleted it.
Like, that was a profound
Every
moment.
inch of it is gone.
Now, what she also didn't tell you is, not only didn't she make it, she just did not respond to her manager.
No.
When she did not show up one day and the next day, she said, I'm done.
I'm done. And
This,
then
why am I here? And that gets to your story.
Why am I
of somebody
here?
asking, why are you here? So, Carcia, tell them.
So I was working at a company this time last year, working there, and again, this company allowed me to be me. So I was doing a lot of different things. Although I was there, in solutions, working within marketing, I was also doing a bunch of other things that catered to my skills. And it's a startup company, so anyone out there that wants to work in an industry, I totally suggest doing a startup. It's great for weirdos like us.
Weirdos for life.
Yeah, it's great. But one day I was just working, and one of the girls, she was there, she came by, we're chatting, and then she was just like, Carcia, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm opening a document on my computer. She's like, no, not that. She's like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? She's like, you should be like in like Bali, like making like a music video, or be in New York working on some art direction project. Or she's like, why are you here? You're not helping anyone here.
Right there.
Listen to the word. She had someone else see the value in her to say, you're not helping anyone being here.
Yeah, as in your gifts, the skills that you have are not being used here? Why are you here? Why are you not over there or over here doing what you should really be doing with your skills? And the worst thing is that I literally was in a daze since she said that to me, and she's a white female, and she said that to me, and I was like, I don't know what happened to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know where this person went. I had become so complacent that I had become a zombie, and not really knowing that this is not what you set out to do. This future me letter is not just from 2019.
Oh,
no.
That letter is actually the wishes and dreams I had since I entered my 30s. You know, like just over a decade. And it's just now that I realized, oh, wow, I ignored my real feelings
right?
for 10 years. I'm like, no wonder why I ended up in therapy for bloody 10 years. Just so y'all know, as soon as I entered my 30s, I became severely depressed.
Which we'll talk about
So
mental
that-
health.
yes,
There's another
yeah,
topic
another
we'll talk
topic.
about
Yep.
probably next week.
And I now know why all of these things happened. I know why I myself ended up in that position, because I was not feeding myself.
It was important.
That's
Here's
it.
the
Feeding
thing-
yourself.
Here's the thing
Feeding yourself
about
with virtue and good things
about
you.
fear is, and I'm going to talk, I'm also in therapy. I ended up in therapy about a year ago because of things that I was experiencing and not realizing. And again, we're going to talk about mental health next week.
Yeah.
Our next topic will be mental health. So, you know, my therapist said something that was very, very interesting, because I told her about this future me letter and the things that I experienced. And, you know, I said, my second future me letter that will arrive in 2021. I remember the first part was about my fear and overcoming fear, and I needed to overcome it, and I need to, get it and kill it. And my therapist said, why do you feel that you need to get fear out of your life? You're supposed to own your fear.
Own the fear.
You embrace the fear. The fear is your companion, because she said, Toshiba, the fear is what's going to keep your lights on. The fear is what's going to keep your child fed. The fear is what's going to make sure that you're paying her tuition. That fear that you have is going to propel you to greatness. But often what we're told, especially in our community, is when you're afraid of something,
Right?
When you're afraid of something, you must run away from it.
That's right.
Not embrace it, not do any of that. You are supposed to just kick it out. And so I was so busy trying to think I needed to kick out the fear that I wasn't owning it and embracing it. So we're actually all here on this couch to talk to you, because what we had to do is we had to own our fear.
And it's a scary thing, because who wants to face like their fears and their failures? Like, who wants to, hug the negative?
Like, here you go. Come on, fear.
Hug the
You
fear.
are my friend. Let
forever.
me just
come on. No one wants to, but like you were saying, Toshiba, that is the only way to get over it, is to just face it head on and embrace it. It's like a wall. And there's only one over that wall of fear is your peace, your serenity, your hope, all things good. You just have to hang on to that fear and just face it, punch it out, and keep going, because that's what's gonna hold you back. You gotta face it. It's terrifying.
It's terrible. God. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say that everything that we are all about to embark on isn't scary. It's scary.
It is.
But it's the fuel. Like, there's so many things that we have in the works, and we're hoping that you'll join us for all of the things that we're doing, because we're going to be doing these forums where we're going to get people to come and talk to us, and we're hoping to build one very soon, where I've got a friend of mine who is in the political world in the United States. He's the U.S. Attorney General for Civil Rights. Yes, the U.S. Attorney General for Civil Rights is my friend. Go look him up. Again, we'll talk about the power of connecting and networking also in another episode, but that's also an important thing that our community needs to do more of. It's to connect and network, because that's going to get you places. So we're going to be going on this amazing journey, and I know I'm scared.
You're coming on this journey with us.
I know I'm scared.
I'm terrified.
I know you scared too, girl.
I'm
like,
terrified.
we are not.
But we got good.
I have a good poker face. I know I don't look scared.
She does.
I'm scared as hell.
But
you know what? We're working in the theater. We're screaming at the top of our lungs inside. Like, but we're going through it looking fly. Because it's like, we got this.
Here's the thing.
We have to.
We have to. There's something
have to.
about, I used to tell you a little bit about my corporate life. I used to run the Eastern Canada region for a company. We shall not name them.
No.
But I had a staff of 11. And I used to tell them that it's important to get comfortable with uncomfortability.
That's so good.
The fact of the matter is,
That's good.
when you're the most uncomfortable, that's when change is actually occurring. We talked about it earlier for those of you who were here. We talked about complacency. That complacency is a very comfortable spot.
It is.
You stay, it's warm.
It's warm, it's toasty.
Oh my God, it's toasty. It's like, if you're a big, listen, I'm a big Big Theory nerd. Sheldon had his spot. Sheldon wouldn't sit no other spot.
He wouldn't sit anywhere else
but
in that
his
one spot where you happen to be sitting
one
right
digga spot. Okay, there's one digga spot, no matter who was in his spot.
Yeah, and God forbid someone was in his spot.
He would move that. Why? Because he was comfortable in that spot.
That's it.
That's complacency. When you are here and you don't want to move, I'm out of the camera now, but over there.
That's it. No, you're right. Yeah.
That's complacency. You get so comfortable because everything is routine.
That's it.
It's the same thing. You know what's going to happen, but the reality is what you're doing is a disservice to yourself.
Amen.
You're
That's
actually doing the biggest disservice to yourself because you're not growing. You're not expanding. You're not learning. You're not doing
The
those
interesting
things.
thing, you hit a good point there, Shiva. It's funny. The word to growing, according to science, people grow. Well, it's children, I should say, because I'm sure it's after a certain age you stop growing.
Right.
But children who grow, that's supposed to grow, they grow at night. Because if you were conscious of growing in the day, it would hurt. Because your bones are stretching, your muscles are pulling, everything's going in different directions. Yeah. So Jesus made sure, I don't care y'all don't believe in Jesus, I do. Jesus made sure that, you're unconscious while you're growing.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when you're alive, when you're awake and you're conscious of what's going on, no one wants to feel pain.
Absolutely.
No one wants to go through the fear of anything. So what you're saying about growth in this case has to happen with you being conscious.
Absolutely.
You have to go through the pain. And remember the show Growing Pains?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's basically what life is. You're growing and it's painful. Yeah. But it's the only way you're gonna make it.
Girl, you just
Growing
spoke a
pain.
word.
A word.
She just spoke a word.
Oh, show me that smile again, right? Show me that smile again.
How old are, first of all, okay, we're so old.
We're old.
Living on the tide. We're going new, we know.
Okay, you know what?
Okay, that's enough.
Stop.
But she did speak a word. It's about growing pains, and I'm conscious of the time. You guys have another 2-3 minutes with us, but it is so important, guys, and we're going to be taking you on this journey, and we're going to be talking about some very difficult topics.
Yeah, we're going to go deep.
We're going to go deep. Like we said, if you read our bio, if you're looking for talks about relationship, we ain't it.
This may not be the show
Unless
for you.
you want to hear about the relationship that we have with ourselves.
Which might then be for you.
Right? But
it's very complicated.
we can't.
Yeah. That's actually...
can't solve your man problems.
No.
I ain't got one. That's a different story.
Sorry.
So I ain't gonna do that. I can't talk about something I don't have. However, like Carcia said, it's the relationship with yourself. What's the relationship?
Which is the number one relationship.
It's very important.
It's the number one relationship.
What's the relationship you have with
Love
yourself? Where do you want to go in your life? What do you want to do? Where can you get knowledge that is not in university? Let's be clear.
Yeah, that's it.
I went to university. It was great.
Oh boy.
It was fine. University is great. Train, if you're watching, you finished university. I'm praying for it. Now,
school, girl.
But know that that's not it. Just know that is truly the beginning
this is the
of
base.
education.
That's the beginning.
That's
and
the base.
So we're going to get you deep into really thinking about topics in a different way. And some topics that you've never thought about. Finance is going to be a big thing. We're going to be reading a book on finance. finance in our community is something that we don't often discuss because, again, you must hold everything tight. You're going to tell people your business, but we're going to talk about it.
We're going to go there.
We're going to go there. We're going to talk about microaggression. We're going to talk about
Yes.
self-love. Microaggression is a huge thing. We're going to talk about so many different topics that we really are going to go deep, and we want you each to, and thank you for those of us who've been communicating with us.
Guys.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate it, but
Aww.
we do also want to hear your stories. We want to hear where you're coming from, because it's important. We are going on this journey. Like, we are all freaking self-employed right now.
And you guys will hold us accountable.
And we're going to hold you accountable.
We're going to hold you accountable.
We want to know what's going on with you.
Share.
You
this
know,
is a safe space.
It is a safe
and you're
space.
allowed to come here, share. No one's gonna go and yell at your business and that. Well, Carcia, your girl Telly will not run out your business because I know that I'm not a messenger. We're here to listen and to read. We're not here to spit out your business. It's not nice.
And we will have a forum for people to talk and to engage in, politics. We are going to learn about politics. I'm going to go back. We are going to be planning something. This year we're going to give you the details, but again, my friend, the U.S. Attorney General of Civil Rights, has offered to come down here and really speak about the climate and what's going on. He is the head of the voter rights section, and he deals with all the human trafficking and just some very interesting things. We're going to go deep. We're going deep, guys. So if you are on this journey with us, be prepared to go deep. And what's your story? We want to hear it. So
we want to hear your story.
Before we end. Part of our show is we're going to be asking each other, well, I'll ask them, and then they'll ask me, what is your takeaway from today's show? Carcia.
So the takeaway for me is the importance of really knowing yourself. It's very hard to take that next step and, be the Usain Bolt in your life and hit those goals without knowing who you truly are. And I think that everyone should, what I've learned is that everyone should, and myself, continuously revisit who am I and what can I offer to the world.
That's good. Yes, that's my take. That's
that
good.
was a word.
That's good. My takeaway is embracing the fear. I think it's important for anyone and everyone to do it. Because if you don't face it, it will always be haunting you. It will always be something over your head. And even if it means to delve deep and you may not like what you dig up about yourself, but in the name of, self-therapy and self-love, you owe it to yourself to just brace that fear, hug it, strangle it, move it out of the way, and go forward. So that's my takeaway.
I love it. I love it.
Fear.
So Toshiba, what's your takeaway?
What's your takeaway, Toshiba?
So mine is the power of failing forward. It is so important to shift your mindset. There is the fact that you put power with failure because failure doesn't own you. There's the power in the failure, and we're failing forward. In the reality, most people look at us like we are unemployed because in our community, when you ain't attached to an employer, they be telling you you're unemployed.
We love those logos.
Let me just be clear. We self-employed. Okay.
Don't get it twisted.
We're taking the knowledge that we have to be able to better those in our community. So my takeaway is absolutely the power of failing forward because I intend to kill it in 2020 and beyond.
Those future me letters for 2021, trust.
When we read those, that shit's gonna be a whole different thing.
Trust and believe, y'all. It's gonna be different. We're gonna be boasting and we're gonna frame it. We're gonna throw it on the floor, delete it. We're gonna frame it.
It's gonna be amazing.
Wait and see. And you guys write your future letters too.
Yes. So if you haven't done it, we despite the fact that they done ripped theirs.
We hated it. But I did write one for next year.
I did too. So we're gonna kill it though.
Yeah.
Get the bag.
They're gonna get the bag.
We get that bag. So if you haven't done it, go to futureme.org. You can write a letter to your future self. And in it, you will actually realize all the things you want to do. And I challenge you to do it. If you haven't also done so, do goals. I do goals every year. I write down a bunch of goals.
Important.
The key is what I also found is record your goals. So use a recorder and record your voice saying what your goals are and play those goals back to yourself. It's something to be said when you're hearing your goals in your own voice. Reading it is one thing. Saying it out It
It's
goes
different.
here, and then when you re-listen to
I
it,
agree.
it's in your own voice.
That's
so those
it.
will be the things that we tell you today. Write a future me letter and set some goals for yourself, and I think we're done.
That's
I think
it.
that's it. Guys,
It's only an hour, eh?
so what you need to do is tell all your friends about Not Your Typical Girl Talk.
Because we're fly.
And, tell all your friends about these three girls that just showed
These
up on
three
a couch.
gorgeous, crazy,
and
smart,
chatted
intelligent
for an
women
hour.
that enlighten you, give you some life advice.
And please participate in the group.
Please
Participate.
let us
Let
know
us
what you
know.
think.
Share your
Participate.
story.
Share.
Yeah, share your story. We'd love to
If you
hear.
need an advice on anything, if you're
Hit
just
us
like,
up.
hey, I need someone to look at my resume. I need somebody to help
Even though
me
this one deleted.
make a
I deleted mine, so I ain't got nothing to share.
But
I used to be
I-
a recruiter. I actually can.
Yeah, like
I was a
need
professional recruiter. I
someone
can look your
to,
resume.
submit. I need to submit this idea to get a grant for something. Let us all know.
Yeah.
If we don't know, we know someone
Somebody
that
who
knows.
does know. So let this be a community. We want to be a community. And let's be clear, Not Your Typical Girl Talk is not just for women. It is
No,
for
it's open.
everybody
It's
in
for
the
everybody.
community.
It's for
So for the
everybody.
men who join the group and think this is just, it
Thank
is
you.
about uplifting
That's it.
everyone in the community and what we can do together. I am really trying to create a black economy. I have a client who said that to me and I said, wow, like you are on it. I want to be a part of our self-sustaining community, and this is how it starts, everybody. So
That's it.
love you all.
Thank you
and
so much, guys. This was so much fun.
It was
Oh
fun.
my gosh.
It's our
I love
first show.
this.
We did
So
Our
it.
first, we did it. We pulled it off.
Started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
Hey,
Started from the bottom, now we're all day.
Hey.
Hey.
So thank you. Join us next week, Saturday, where we'll be talking about mental health and self-love.
Woo, that's gonna be a big one. Thanks so much, guys.
Love you
Bye.
guys. Bye.